Where has Jess been? Da, da, da! Where have I actually been? Well, for starters, I'm not really going to go into where I have been or what I have been up to, other than the fact that for the past 3.5 weeks I have been in and out of hospital. At one point I was rushed to hospital because I collapsed. That was no fun. And yeah, I'm alive. Power to the people! Either way, I am back, and for those of you who have sent me all of your love and support through Facebook, I am very, 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 very lucky to have you guys and all of your support and love. Yay! Me, me, me. Me, 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 me. At the moment, I'm not really going to go into where I've been, but first I had all of this fucking technical bollocks to deal with. Then when I sorted that out and I got my new camera and yada yada, then I had loads of health issues yet again. A few of you will know what I've been through because I decided to open up on Facebook about it, but I'm not really quite ready to open up on a video about it, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it'll be, I think, for a while, because it's still kind of fresh. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that sent me all of their love and stuff, because I really, really appreciate it. So a lot of people have suggested music type videos, whether that be like covers or me talking about music or whatever, yada yada. And I was lying there last night and I thought to myself, as a musician and as someone who bases their life almost around music, and you know, you guys know that I am a massive music nerd, as well as just, it's my favourite thing in the whole entire world. If I had to be blind to keep my hearing intact, then I probably actually would be. I would be quite disappointed, and it would be kinda, you know, it would fucking suck, but at least I'd be able to listen to music. And that would be nice. What am I talking about? One thing that's always put me off doing these type of music videos, music-based videos, topical videos and yada yada has always been the fact that there's so many bands and so many songs that have influenced me, and that it's just really hard for me to take apart these songs and bands, and just, it's just so much comes into my head at once, so many different songs from different angles and genres, and it's like poof, it's like where to start, where to start. I was just lying in bed and I was just listening to John Frusciante, and I thought to myself, I'll start with John Frusciante. So I've discussed already that I'm going to be doing some mood playlists and stuff, you know, songs that help me through the hard times or songs that pick me up, and like little playlists and yada yada. But I thought to myself, something that might be quite cool is for me to do a video on each band slash musician, and then include a few of their songs, like my favourite songs by them and how they've helped me and how they've affected me and how I perceive them and things like that. I kind of thought I'll dedicate a video to each of my favourite artists, as opposed to just making a video and lumping them all in together and rushing around and not really being able to speak as in depth about it as I'd like to. There we go, I finally got that out. I finally got it out. My makeup is a tiny bit weird today because I started off with a neutral brown smoky eye, and then I found my purple lipstick, and then I found my big chunky black eyeliner, and yeah, I tried. I'm going to say this again, but I really hope this is in focus, because I've kind of auto-focused it, which is naughty of me, but I was fiddling for too long. I'm also a lot farther away from the camera than I'm used to being, which makes it also a tiny little bit more weird. Oh, Dave is calling. Hello? I hope this is in focus. I got an email! Video response to accent tag. Yeah! Anyways, I'm just gonna kind of hope that I'm in focus, and I'm just gonna go for it. So, this is gonna be a series. I'm gonna do these videos when I'm in the mood to do these videos, so I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do 3 a week or anything like that. I'm just gonna kind of take my time. I've pretty much only just been dispatched entirely from the hospital. By the time this video comes up, I have one more blood test coming up, and then after that, hopefully that'll be it. So I can try and get into a video routine again, and I keep saying this, but then life keeps fucking me in the ass, and I don't like being fucked in the ass. Sorry if that's really grotesque, but life can suck sometimes. So I'm going to start this series with John Frusciante, and I'll make a playlist and I'll put it in the down bar so that you can click all the songs really easily and it can be all accessible and all that jazz. John Frusciante is my favourite guitarist. When I was younger, I kind of grew up constantly switching between John Frusciante and Angus Young from AC/DC. But I kind of realised when I hit 13, I think, or 14, that you can't really, you know, alter between them both because they're both completely different guitarists, they're both different types of genres, and they've both got different styles of playing completely. So I like to admire them both for different reasons, but John Frusciante and I have always had this connection. This connection is deep inside me, and John Frusciante can't see the connection that we have, but I can, so it's okay. I'm gonna start with God, which is off the Emperine, or Emperine. I can never say it correctly, so that'll be the first song in the playlist down below. When I first heard God, it wasn't initially one of my favourite songs, to be honest. I never really understood it, but after hearing it a few times and yada yada, it did eventually grow on me. But it wasn't until I was lying on my bed one night and I was feeling really, really nostalgic, and I was feeling really, really pessimistic too. And then this song came on shuffle, and instead of, you know, rolling over and like pressing next, I just lied there and I took it in and I listened to it properly. Like, instead of just listening to it or whatever while I was cleaning or something, I just took it in and I listened to it properly. And it caught my attention in a completely different way. Something just kind of clicked in my head, and around the 42-second mark, I was musically pulled in by like the bouncing rhythm and like, you know, I don't know, it's hard to explain. When you listen to it, you'll know what I mean. It's like the guitar just kick in at 42 seconds and it's like din, din. It's just like, they're both intertwined together musically, the drums and the guitar, to kind of create this bouncing, pulling feeling. That's what I felt when I heard it. That song specifically makes me think of our belief system. And as human beings, religious or not, we want something to believe in and we need something to believe in. If you have no hope or positivity, or there is no light at the end of the tunnel, then life is, you know, all hope is really lost. And that's something that song taught me. And when I heard the lyrics, when the fog spreads out in the rainy season, it comes from my insides, they just kind of pulled into me and grabbed me and just caught my attention. I just felt instantly like as if I was being wrapped in a musical blanket, and everything that he said I could just relate to. And towards the end of the song, he sings, "I hear all your prayers because I'm each one of you. Creation's not something I did, it's something that I do. The reason for the bad is so there'd be such thing as good. Oh, I'd do anything for you. You all know I would. Be for me." Then when it kicks into the be for me bit towards the end, he just starts screaming over and over again as the music just builds up. And it's gone from being so like, you know, melodic and soft and gentle to just being this raw emotion. You have to listen to it yourself to understand. It's always been really difficult to explain how something makes you feel or how something makes you think, and that's something I kind of want to get better at, because at one stage in my life I was really good at expressing how I felt and stuff through words, and I'm trying to get back into that at the moment, so I thought that would be another good reason to actually do these videos. The ending comes crashing down, but almost gracefully, and then he repeats all is belief, almost as if he's taking you into his arms and baptizing you with new knowledge. Does that make sense? But yeah, so God, originally not one of my favourite songs, and then ended up being like one of my favourite songs off the album. I've literally picked my favourite John Frusciante songs, and there's a lot of John Frusciante songs that I love and like, but these are the ones that I truly connect with. So my camera just died. I'm starting to like not get used to the whole 15 minutes, 20 minutes or however long I've been talking, and my Canon just stops recording, so I have to press record again. It's moderately annoying, but I will get there. The next song by John Frusciante that I'm going to speak about is Interstate Sex, and that's from the album From the Sounds Inside. This song does a completely different thing to me than God does. God makes me think about the way that I think, and this one, it just brings me up. Very uplifting to me. There's not really much that I can say about that song, not as much as God in a way. I feel like with a lot of John Frusciante songs you need to go away and you need to listen to it yourself. This song though has an epic outro, like an absolutely outstanding like outro, and it's just like sex, 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 but the way that he does it and the way that it's layered and the way that it moves with the music, it's just magnificent. It just reminds me of riding a cosmic electronic wave, and John Frusciante sits there with me on our giant unicorn playing his acoustic guitar. It's a very euphoric song, like a lot of John Frusciante's songs. The next song is pretty much one of my favourite John Frusciante songs, probably my most favourite John Frusciante song, which again is incredibly difficult to say because these are my favourite songs. But this song in particular, My Smile is a Rifle, this song is going to be one of the ones that you listen to on the playlist and probably look and think, what the actual fudge? This song's not going to be to everybody's taste. Only a small percentage of the people I've showed this song actually can see what I see or hear what I hear or, you know, sit through the whole thing. I've played this song to people and people have just looked at me as if I'm crazy or I'm off my tits. Some people have even said that's not music, or like, ugh, that's out of time, or he's out of key, and yada yada. And it grates me, it gets on my nerves, but then I realise it's not to everyone's taste and that is fine. It's alright to have your own opinions, express yourself, you've got to respect other people's tastes and opinions too. So I warn you that this song is a little bit more out there, it's a little tiny bit more experimental, if you might say. It's pretty rough and it's from John Frusciante's not so drug-free days, which may have a little tiny bit to do with it. Just a little bit. I personally think that some of his best music actually came from back then though, when he was going through such a difficult time. I actually think some of his best songs came from those days as opposed to, you know, like more later on and when he's more clean or whatever, yada yada, because deep down I don't actually think that it's possible to create something truly provoking without some sort of musical pain, history behind there, you know, like some vivid emotion needs to be holding up the foundations to a truly beautiful or amazing piece of artwork or, you know, a piece of music. And when I listen to My Smile is a Rifle, for me it's more about what it visually creates in my head and how it makes me feel and how I feel like I can relate to it, as opposed to catchiness or the tone or the melody or generic music bullshit, yada yada. This song has been a favourite of mine for a very long time, and I think I'm tearing up just thinking about it, just talking about the song. But to me, it depicts pain, purely depicts pain and struggle. And My Smile is a Rifle is pretty much, you know, all I can say. That says it all, that one sentence, my smile is a rifle. It's like opening your mind in a broader thesaurus dictionary way and thinking to yourself, like, okay, so a rifle's a gun, my smile is a gun, wait, oh, there it is. And a lot of the time when I was younger, I used to think to myself, and when I say when I'm younger, I'm talking about around the 17, 18 mark, so not very long ago, actually, because I'm only 21. I used to think of My Smile as a Rifle, and when I heard that song and I could feel his pain behind it, I could really relate to it, and because of that, it's stayed there with me, like, throughout my life, and it's got me through some really hard times. He starts screaming at one point in the song, and that's normally whenever whoever I'm showing it to is kind of like, why are you showing me this, Jess? What is this? Who is this? They look at me like I'm on crack. But I'm not the one that was on crack here. Remember that, guys. I've never ever done crack. And I should hope that the majority of you know that I've never done crack. This is a disclaimer. Jingleheartart has not done crack. Or has she? Just kidding, I'm joking, I've never been anywhere near crack. Where the fuck would I get crack around my area, really? So many old people where I live, unless I see some people doing crack. Okay, now I'm getting off subject. And now I'm getting off subject. Back to that song, the last thing I'll say about it is I love his little cute screams. And I think that they're cute. They're very aggressive, very painful, but there's so much heart behind those screams. And that's something that you can't really replicate without going out of key or out of tone or sounding a little bit rough. Like, seriously, there's too much auto-tune around these days. It's completely like, it's like putting your fucking CDs and your records into a blender and completely getting rid of the things that make it a song. That's what music's like today for me. It's like, you know, it's basically Lil Wayne in a blender with some topless women and a manager playing puppet strings saying, this is what you're gonna sing about, da 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 da, and that's all I'll say. Yeah. The next song that I'm going to talk about is Carvel, which is off Shadows Collide with People, and that has been a favourite song of mine for a very long time, but I ruined it. I ruined this song for myself. Made a piece of video art to it, and it's like, I'll link the video art down below because it's on Vimeo, because for copyright reasons, because of the John Frusciante song that I used, I couldn't put it on YouTube, and I've ruined it for myself. Any of you guys will know that if you're a video artist of any sort or a YouTuber, when you're editing a video to music and you have to listen to that song over and over again, it takes away a little tiny bit of the magic, sometimes all of the magic. With this song, it didn't take away all of its, you know, magical goodness entirely, it just took away a tiny bit of it, and then I couldn't listen to it for a few months, but then when I started listening to it again, everything would be okay. So it was like, yeah! I don't regret making that piece of video art because it's exactly how I felt at the time, it's exactly the kind of emotion that I wanted to express. However, it'll always be one of my favourite John Frusciante songs, even though a little bit of the magic dust isn't on it anymore because I overplayed the shit out of it when I made that video. I've done the same thing to Climbing Up the Walls by Radiohead recently, like my latest piece of video art, which I don't know if I'll be up before this video or after this video, but I'm pretty sure, you know, you'll know what I'm talking about, hopefully. Maybe you won't, but the day after this video has been up, or the day before, you'll kind of know what I'm going on about, maybe, I'm not sure. I edited the video to Climbing Up the Walls by Radiohead because that's a very, very deep song to me, and it evokes the emotion that I wanted to in the video. Kind of, I don't really want to live on this planet anymore feeling. The video that I made, like, recently, well, over the past couple of months, I've been trying to put it together. Probably one of the darkest videos I've ever made. Now, most of my video art tends to be quite dark anyway, because I'm quite a dark person, which, you know, is true, guys. I can be bright and bubbly and happy and excited and euphoric, but I can also be incredibly pessimistic, and I feel like I live in a ditch where there's no lights, no clouds, no heaven, no hell, and I'm simply just darling around for a little bit and nobody can see me because I'm invisible. But I'm not invisible because I'm cool like Harry Potter with an invisibility cloak. I'm invisible because nobody wants me to exist, and that's sometimes how I feel. But yeah, I wanted to give Carvel a mention because that song will always have a place in my heart, so therefore it's one of those songs that needs to be in this list. It just had to be mentioned. I'm not going to talk about that one too in depth. It's just something you gotta listen to for yourself, and if you want to check out the video that I did as well, I'll link that below. The next song that I'm going to talk to you guys about is Going Inside, which is off the record. I think it's Only Water for 10 Days. I think that's what it's called. I hope that's what it's called. I'm kind of going off my head at the moment with that. I think that's the album it's off. I hope that's the album it's off. If it's not, well, at least the video links will be below in a playlist. So I suppose it's not that important, but if you ever wanted to, you know, get the album, then at least you kind of know what the album's called without having to go on Google and all that jazz. I'll start off with the lyrical epicness of this song. Where you go doesn't matter, cause there will come a time when time goes out the window and you'll learn to drive out of focus. I'm you, and if anything unfolds, it's supposed to. Need I say any more? That is lyrical beauty in that. And that's one of the things that strikes me the most about that song. I remember hearing that song when I really needed to hit that song. And the first time I ever heard that song, it's like, I was a John Frusciante fan for a very long time, but originally I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was drawn into John Frusciante himself through the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like a lot of John Frusciante fans, I was originally a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan. Then when I found out his solo music, I went through it very slowly. It's not like I just sat there and I listened and bam wham, I fell in love with all these songs. It all happened over a gradual period of time. The way that I can relate to his music is like no other guitarist. Like, I can relate more to John Frusciante than I can to Angus Young, for example. When I heard those lyrics, that verse that I just recited to you guys, or chorus or whatever it is, the part in the song, when I heard that song, I needed to hear what will be, will be. And I didn't have anyone around at the time to tell me that. I didn't have my mum there to tell me that. My dad wasn't there to tell me that at the time. And then John Frusciante just came out and told me. And again, that song came on through shuffle, and I'd never actually heard that song before, and I think I was 17. I'm not quite sure how old I was at the time, but I was going through a bit of a weird time in my life. When I heard this song and I heard this specific, you know, melody and set of lyrics, I felt reassured. Life is fucking hard and full of struggles. It really is, but we're all in the same boat together, and that's something that people forget. And because we're all stuck in this shithole together, we need to stick together. And that's really important to me. And that's why I really hate and stuff. And I got an email. We're only here for a limited amount of time, and we need to make the most out of our lives while we're here. And that's something that we forget. And it's kind of sad, really, that we forget that. And of course, in that song, there's a fucking awesome guitar riff. They're the songs that I'm going to mention in the playlist and yada yada. And I'll add an additional song on there for shits and giggles. I'm just going to say one thing about the next song. It's kind of a piss take song. It's like, it just had to be mentioned because it's a great song to get drunk and listen to and sing you know, along with your friends to this song. Like, some people break out to ABBA when they're drunk or whatever, yada yada, but Dave will know what I mean. I'll just say one title of one song, your pussy's glued to a building on fire. So yeah, pretty much I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it was a bit depressing. I'm trying to worm myself in there again, but once you hit a certain stage in your life and you have an epiphany and you're surrounded by hauls and, you know, videos about really pointless things in life, you start to think to yourself, like, I don't want all of my videos to just be about clothes and makeup, because there's so much more to life than that. For example, music. And I've not done enough music related videos, and that's something that I really wanted to do. And I'm really sorry if this is a depressing video, but I kind of enjoyed it. And if my eyes were going a bit twitchy, I apologise. It's just these massive lamps, I need to get used to it. Like, I've not got some weird ass studio going on, it's just my bedroom, and I figured, here's a slot. I'm gonna, you know, do a video for the first time in ages, and yay! And I'm gonna record a review video tomorrow. Oh shit, it's Friday tomorrow. Yay! Got to get a blood test. You should see my arms. I actually look like a heroin addict. If it wasn't for this massive jacket I'm wearing, I would actually show you guys how much of a crack addict I really am. Or should I just say fake heroin addict, because my arms, like, they took blood from me like last week, and the woman said, "Oh, you've dried upon me," and I was like, "Gah, camera!" Pretty much. Then I screamed and ran away, and yeah. But I'll put the playlist down below. And if you're a John Frusciante fan as well, then you should let me know your favourite songs by John Frusciante, or maybe just the Red Hot Chili Peppers or whatever. But I think John Frusciante has something completely different to offer, other than just the Red Hot Chili Peppers section of his life. Like, some of his solo music is incredible, like almost better than some Red Hot Chili Pepper songs. They're all, you know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will speak to you guys soon. Bye!